We begin tonight off the coast of Italy, where crews are searching for survivors from that cruise ship that ran aground and found.
It was January 13th, 2012, a Friday night. The Costa Concordia had just left the port of Civitavecchia, Italy, bound for Savona. In this peaceful coastal city, over 4,000 passengers expected to wake up the next morning with cappuccinos in hand and sea breeze in their hair. The time was 9:45 p.m. Passengers were finishing their first dinner on board. Some were dancing in the ballroom. Others were unpacking in their staterooms, already planning the next stop of their Mediterranean vacation. But just off the coast of a small island called Giglio, something happened. Because at that exact moment, with over 4,200 souls on board, the ship violently shuddered. Passengers stumbled as a deep grinding roar echoed from below. Something had gone terribly wrong. The Concordia was supposed to glide past the island of Giglio in a glamorous sail-by salute. Instead, it struck an underwater rock formation at 16 knots. The ship's 1,000-foot hull was torn open like a soda can, and within minutes water surged in. But the real disaster? That was only the beginning. And to understand how a luxury cruise turned into one of the most surreal, chaotic disasters in maritime history, we need to start with the man at the helm.
People are dead.
Survivors, including a missing American couple, feared rough seas might make the ship. Behind me is what the ship struck.
Francesco Schettino liked the spotlight. Charismatic, tanned, always flashing a smile. He looked like a cruise ship captain straight out of a movie, but he also had a dangerous habit breaking the rules for flair. On January 13th, 2012, he made a fateful decision, one that wasn't approved by the cruise line. He wanted to perform what's called a salute to the island of Giglio, basically steering this floating skyscraper within a few hundred meters of the coastline so the islanders could wave and marvel. It wasn't the first time Concordia had done this. But this time, Schettino altered the route manually, taking the ship even closer than usual. Why? Reportedly, to impress a friend. Some say it was for a retired captain. Others say it was for a dancer on board. Whatever the reason, he deviated from protocol and from safety. As the Concordia approached the island, Schettino ordered the turn too late. The radar showed a reef. The helmsman hesitated, and then impact. But what's shocking isn't just the decision, it's what Schettino did next. When the hull was torn open, water gushed into the engine room and flooded compartments quickly. The ship lost propulsion. Power flickered off. Still, the crew told passengers nothing serious had happened. In fact, for a full 45 minutes after the collision, the captain downplayed the severity. He told Coast Guard officials it was just a blackout. He delayed issuing the abandoned ship order, hoping things would stabilize. Meanwhile, passengers wandered the halls. Some returned to dinner. Others tried to go back to their rooms. They didn't know that beneath them, water was flooding through a 160-foot gash. When Schettino finally gave the evacuation order, the ship had begun to list, tilting dramatically to one side. Lifeboats on the high side were now dangling too far above the water. On the low side, the ship's tilt made launching them nearly impossible. It had become a race against physics, and that's when panic exploded. But if you think the evacuation was just poorly timed, wait until you hear what happened to the captain himself. As chaos engulfed the decks and passengers screamed for help, the unthinkable happened. The captain left the ship. Schettino had made his way to a lifeboat and took it ashore, abandoning thousands of passengers and crew still on board. When the Italian Coast Guard realized this, they called him directly. The call was recorded, and it became one of the most infamous exchanges in maritime history. Roughly translated, "Get back on board, damn it." Schettino mumbled excuses. He claimed it was too dark, that he had tripped into the lifeboat. He was coordinating rescue efforts from the shore, but nobody believed him. In the absence of clear orders, chaos ruled, but not everywhere. In one section of the ship, a young waiter named Joseph Manuel Garcia took control. Originally from the Philippines, he had no formal emergency training, but he began directing passengers, helping elderly guests with life vests and calming panicked tourists. He wasn't alone. Several crew members from housekeeping and kitchen staff began guiding people to the lifeboats while officers disappeared. There were moments of raw humanity. A violinist played music to calm passengers. A chef tied himself to a rail and helped people climb out through tilted corridors. And yet for some passengers, the nightmare wasn't over even after they got off the ship. As the ship tilted further, lifeboats became harder to launch. Some got stuck. Others dropped passengers too fast. A few hit the water sideways, throwing people into the dark sea. Survivors clung to debris. Some swam through fuel-slicked water in pitch-black night. Wearing only a nightgown, one woman swam for over an hour before reaching shore. Another man scaled the ship's outer hull and climbed up to the capsized side, waiting hours in the cold before being airlifted. In total, 32 people lost their lives. Some drowned, some were trapped inside. One retired couple, still in their formal dinnerwear, was later found in a flooded corridor, arm in arm. But one question haunted the aftermath. How could a modern cruise ship equipped with radar, GPS, and multiple redundancies end up like this? To answer that, we have to look at what went wrong before the crash ever happened. After the disaster, the Concordia lay capsized off the coast of Giglio, a rusting reminder of what went wrong. But the ship couldn't be left there. It was too close to a marine reserve, too big a risk for pollution, too painful a symbol. So in 2013, engineers launched an operation never before attempted at this scale, refloating a cruise ship. They used a technique called parbuckling, attaching massive tanks to the hull and rotating the entire ship upright using hydraulic pull. It took over a year of planning, dozens of divers, and cost over $1.2 billion. When the Concordia finally rose from the sea, it looked like a ghost, barnacle encrusted, windows shattered. The luxury ship had become a floating corpse. Eventually, it was towed away to be scrapped piece by piece. But the legacy of the Costa Concordia remains, not just in maritime law, but in the memories of those who survived. The Costa Concordia was supposed to represent the height of modern cruising luxury, comfort, safety, but in just a few hours it became a twisted monument to human error, vanity, and failed leadership. What makes this story haunting isn't just the sinking of a ship, it's how fast things unraveled. Making this videos take a lot of time and dedication. Subscribing to our channel is a huge motivation to make more videos like this. Don't forget to like and comment your thought. See you guys in the next video.